All right, once again, I am Joe Stevens.
And I am Techrat.
With the Equestrian Inquirer and Everfree Radio, and we are at Everfree Northwest with a brony-licious guest. Ladies and gentlemen, bronies and Pegasisters, Cathy Weseluck.
Hello, it's nice to be here. Nice to meet you all.
Now, I think everyone who is seeing this knows exactly who you are, but just for those maybe two people who don't, who do you play on the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic program?
I play the voice of Spike the Dragon and Mare, and various incidentals, which we all do in the show as well. Yeah.
Brolicious. So I got in trouble last time for saying wonderful too much, but I'm just overwhelmed with how wonderful it is that you're here with us at Everfree Northwest. And so thank you for allowing us to do this interview. So I guess our first, what we're trying to look at is when we see these great performances and these great characters, what's it like in the studio when you have Andrea and Tabitha and all those people? Walk us through how the performances go.
It's a little noisy, to be honest with you, especially when Rainbow Dash is there too, and Andrea. It's fantastic being in the studio. We are one big happy family, and every time we go to work, it doesn't feel like work at all. It feels like just a big get together with fun, and the directors are fantastic, so it really isn't like going to work at all. And when you do a show with a group of people after a period of time, it just becomes such a natural thing that you slip into your roles very, very quickly. So it's very, very easy, and we usually get our sessions done within 3 to 3.5 hours as opposed to the 4-hour calls.
Now, is a session a full 22-minute program? Is that what a session is?
When we're talking about a session with respect to the actor's perspective, it's a 4-hour booking that we come in to do one episode of the show.
So in that 4 hours, you will have recorded all the voices for that entire program?
In the 4 hours, we will do one episode, and then we'll come back the following week and do another episode, and the following week and do another episode. So it's usually weekly. Yeah.
And so, just looking back on season 2, I guess, if you you had one session per episode, and how much time did that take to do?
Well, I believe for 13 weeks it would be pretty much 13 episodes. So
it was every week, one day?
Yeah, I think there are times, it's hard for me to remember because we do other shows as well, and sometimes there are glitches in the schedules, whether it be for the director or the clients or, even sometimes the actors. So we have to sort of go with the flow. Sometimes it isn't exactly weekly. Sometimes it's every 2 weeks, or they might change the day. But on average, it's about every week that we do a session, we do recording, yeah.
And there's a little bit of music in the background. If you can pick that up, they're actually rehearsing the concert that's going to be going on.
Yes. So, and you just completely sidetracked me by bringing that up. Thank you so much, Joe. What I was going to ask, because you were saying that you'll get into these 4-hour sessions. When you do these 4-hour sessions, are all of the actors involved in the show always at these sessions, or are there times that maybe you have to fill in for somebody else who isn't there at the time? How does that usually go?
In my case, because I am Spike and Tara Twilight Sparkle happens to be in Los Angeles, it's a trick for both of us because we both are in most of the shows, I'm in all of the shows with Twilight Sparkle usually, so I'm recording my own lines without Tara there, and she's recording hers without me there. So what happens is one of the other actors will read the Twilight Sparkle lines so that we can sort of get into the role, and I have to imagine Tara there. I have to sort of, in a way, hear her voice. And now that I know her personally and I also know the show, then it's easy for me to get into the role a little bit more. But there's always an actor, whether it's Tabitha or Andrea or Ashley, we'll jump in and say, do you want to read, Twilight's lines? And then we'll do that. And sometimes when Spike's not speaking as well, I'll read it for other people. But it's myself and Tara are always recording in a way without each other, so we have to do a lot of that visualizing. Yeah.
Now, Spike has come a long way since season 1.
He's growing up a bit, just a bit though, real slow.
He grew up quite a bit. That was a bit of a bad thing.
Yeah.
But we've seen a lot of character progression with Spike. What's it been like? Have you adjusted who Spike is voice-wise with his character development as he's developing, as he's growing?
Absolutely. I mean, it's so exciting for us to see how our characters do evolve because every single episode, things change and there are new situations for our characters to be in. And for me to have Spike, especially my favorite episode was Owl's Well That Ends Well, of course, without Owlicious. I mean, that was just too cute for its own good. But anyway, because I got a chance to show the deeper Spike, not just him being the assistant, not just him, having these little quips now and then. But he got really, really upset about, sort of being rejected here, or he thought he was.
He had an evil side. He pulled the whole Snidely Whiplash thing going on there.
Well, that's what happens when you get too hurt, I guess, right? You lash out. At least he did.
I could have sworn you would have gone with Dragon Quest as your favorite one. So you preferred that one other than...
Well, they all provide some different kind of challenge for me. Dragon Quest as well. And, the Dog and Pony show as well, when he was trying to defend Rarity, was kind of funny. And then he had the flashback or whatever. And, so, and when he grew up into be the bigger dragon, and et cetera, then I had to, with my voice, go as low as I could for a certain period of time.
So when Spike's voice changed, when he did
that was
really...
still you the whole time throughout that episode?
It was me for probably 3/4 of the time. And then the last little bit, they had to alter it and put some echo behind it and lower it a little bit at the end. But I had to go, Spike's talking like that. That is so awesome, right? But then he goes here, and then he goes here, and then he goes deeper, and he goes down here. And so he's like that. Hey, that is so awesome. And that's about as low as I can get without faking it. And the girl comes in and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Well, actually, speaking of that, because it is interesting, because Spike is a male character, and you're a female voice actress. Are there any challenges in voicing a male character as a female actress that might be different from, saying, voicing Mare, for example?
Well, when I do a boy voice, it is more challenging, generally speaking, just because of the placement of where it is, because you have to hold it and sustain it in that placement. And every boy voice that I do, or young man voice that I do, requires that, and the director has to help you with that. So it may seem like an easy thing to do in some cases if I have to sing or I have to do this or that, but people don't realize that I'm having to hold it. And then I'm having to be natural while I'm holding it. And so there is a challenge to that, but it's a lot of fun. And when I do the different varieties of boy voices, from, you go up here, that is so awesome, yeah, that is so cool, you guys.
Or sort of talk like this, this was a Chiaotzu in a Dragon Ball show we did a long time ago.
Or you can get the chubbier boy.
I don't know, you guys. Like, that was so cool. Are you gonna eat that?
Be a bigger boy. So you have to be it physically to stay at it.
And I can imagine that as challenging as that is, it must be even more challenging when you have to sustain that voice while you're singing as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah,
yes, it's true. It's true, because, and the other thing about that is I'm an alto. And so a lot of the other ponies are sopranos, or people who sing for them. So to try to stay up into that range and hold it and hit the notes and stay in tune as him.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of work, yeah. I have to. I pray to Daniel Ingram. That is at least in this little bit we did, I was hoping it would be in the right range, and it was.
So that's a good segue into, we want to talk a little bit about the song that's now. There's not a lot that we can talk about with season 3, obviously, but there is something that was released at Comic-Con that Spike has a full song. So tell us a little bit about that. After doing 2 full seasons, you finally get to sing.
Oh no, she wasn't.
Actually, it wasn't a full song for Spike. It was Twilight singing the song, and Spike came in and did these little sort of bits of repetition.
And some ballet, I believe, as well.
And he did some ballet. That was amazing.
Okay.
It was incredible, because I didn't see the animation myself, but it's wonderful what they do with the animation, because then it just makes the show so much more exciting, and we see that later, because we're not doing that in the actual voicing. But the singing was a surprise to me when we were at the San Diego Comic-Con. It was wonderful.
So was it the first time when you were at the Comic-Con that you had seen the animation for that segment?
Yes. Absolutely. They had a surprise, they said, for the fans, and all of us were sitting there watching.
So it was a surprise for you as well.
We had no idea what was going to come on screen. Wow. And then I was there, and I got a little choked up, because I'm a bit of a mush pie, and I have a music background. That's my whole thing, is music, my background.
And so we don't have a whole lot of time left, but I want to get an idea of where did Spike originate from in the auditioning process, and walk us through. Did you audition for both Spike and Mare, or did you do it just for Spike, and they said, well, we want you to be Mare too?
Most of us actors, when we have the option to do different characters, we will do that all at once. So what we do is we get audition sides, they say, and they provide it through our agent. Excuse me, and then we see what we feel that we can do. If we're a veteran actor, you often have a chance. Sometimes there's no time. And then we would audition for what we believe we can do within our range. So yes, I did audition for some of the ponies as well, and Mare and Spike, and luckily I ended up with those two.
We love Spike, obviously, and Mare is great too. Now, there's not a whole lot of times where Spike and Mare are kind of communicating with each other. Is it a pretty easy transition to jump from one into the other?
Very much so. At this point, I've been doing it for so many years that we can do that. So Mare's like this, talking like this to all the ponies in Ponyville.
And Spike's like, yeah, whatever.
Spike apparently isn't very
That never
politically
ceases to
active.
amaze me.
And so with the dynamic that Spike has with the rest of the main six, as it were, it's always interesting, and we always sometimes feel bad for Spike. We feel like he gets knocked away, and he doesn't get his, even in the
He
photo.
doesn't get invited to the parties.
I know.
He's just left on the wayside.
do the other actresses do that in the recording session as well?
Well, yes and no. I mean, Spike, he sleeps a lot. He eats a lot of gemstones. He's a little boy. Hopefully, we'll see more interaction. I hope we do.
Well, great. Maybe we'll have it be the main six and Spike. We'll rename it.
Well, I seem to hang around them quite a bit lately, so that's a good thing.
My Little Pony plus one dragon. I think that's what they should rename the show.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
Terrific. Well, I think that we've got just a little bit of time here. We're going to wrap it up here. But is there anything that you want to say to the fans? Just let's talk about the Brony community for a second. What has been your reaction to seeing all the response to Spike and Mare? I mean, there's so many artworks for both Spike and Mare. What has your response been to the community?
I think it's fantastic, and I welcome everyone to take a look at the show and to continue with the wonderful reactions that we've gotten. The art, the music, the writing, the community, the cosplay. It's fantastic, and I have to say that I think it really is the heart and the kindness and the whole point behind friendship that's brought people together, including the bronies and everybody else. And I just say, let's bring it on and grow, bigger community.
Bigger community.
The more the merrier.
Great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time with us today to speak with us. We really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy your time at the convention, and I believe...
Well, and is so again. Once again, we've been talking with Rainbow Dash. Oh, I mean, Spike.
Whatever.
but they had the Spike. You got to play Spike. Spike is best Rainbow Dash. I'm thinking.
He's best dragon, but he's the best guy overall.
Good. Well, thank you once again. This is Joe Stevens
And Tech Rat.
with the Equestrian Inquirer and Everfree Radio at Everfree Northwest.